I never know how I feel about going into these prediction videos. Because 1 minute I feel like I know ball, and then the next is me reacting to these horrible takes that I make. Pretty much every year. Welcome to another prediction video. We are back making predictions for the Premier League 2023-2024 season. These never end well for me, and I highly doubt this year is going to be any different. My goal is to just get better than last year. I think I got one prediction right, and that was Man City to win the league. So that's not an achievement. So this year I'm hoping to get at least some right. And I'm not going to waffle on about teams that I don't know anything about. I'm going to say my points about the teams I know, and obviously my club. So the champions I'm predicting, I don't think there's any debate really. I think it's Man City. They're the best team in the world, champions of Europe. They could probably go and win the quadruple. They've had quick business in the transfer window. Replaced Gundogan with Kovacic and brought in Gvardiol even though they didn't necessarily need to. And with Mahrez gone, players like Foden and Alvarez, they'll get more time to play, and players like Grealish, they're only improving. But yeah, I don't think it's any debate really. Because like I said, they're the best team in Europe. I don't want them to win the league. I don't want them to win anymore. However, it's just naive to say that they won't at this stage. Second, I am putting Arsenal. I think it can be the 4 teams in any order, with City being champion. Arsenal, I feel like they'll get second. They've brought enough quality players to add to what they already have, and they definitely should be challenging for the league. And in my opinion, if they don't at least push City a bit for the league, that's embarrassing. Is it around 200 million that they spent? Like, fair enough, yeah, Rice costs 105 mil, but I'm going to sound biased and say that he was worth it, but he is. Timber was 40-ish million. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know the Dutch league, but from what we've all seen and heard, he is very good. Havertz, I'm not convinced on. I don't think he's good. I also think Champions League football will take a toll on some of the players because some of them aren't used to that level of quality like they were in the Europa League last year. But it'll be a slight difference just because of the quality of the Champions League. Third, I am going with Liverpool. Their midfield is almost sorted, but they need like 1 or 2 more like younger players to get it sorted, like Thuram or Lavia. Nunez will have settled a bit better, and I think he's going to have a big impact on the season, goal scoring wise anyways, because it's not as if Liverpool lacked goals last season. They kind of didn't have a focal point for some of the season, but I reckon they'll do fine. And I think, in my opinion, they're possibly the best team in the Europa League as of right now. I haven't looked at all the teams that are in it, but I think they can easily go on to win the Europa League. And I say all that mainly because of one thing: Trent's haircut. That man is cooking. Fourth, I've gone Man United. They've sorted out all the positions that need to be sorted, like striker and goalkeeper. Sancho's improving. Rashford signed a new long-term deal. Højlund looks like a good signing. The only thing is, in my opinion, I think he's a long-term project. Similar to how I thought Nunez would be last season. Fifth, I'm going with Newcastle. I think they'll just miss out on top 4 purely because the 4 teams above them will just have that bit better of a season. I think with Champions League football, for a club that hasn't had it in a long time, I think that will take a bit of a toll on the players. It's not as if like their whole squad is going to get injured because they have very good players. And they've added to that with Barnes, Tonali, I actually forgot about him. And they've got European experience under their belt, so they might help the side. And Barnes, I think, will add more goal scoring opportunities. Not even opportunities, just more goal contributions, because with St. Maximin gone, I feel like there's going to be more end product to the chances that St. Maximin would have created. Sixth, I'm putting... I don't really like this prediction, but I think I'm going to put Chelsea. I think they'll make a step forward in their rebuild by making European football. They've now got Pochettino, who has a good style of football, is used to taking European sides, and he can easily bring top 4 to Chelsea. The only thing is, similar to Newcastle, I think the teams above him will have a better season. But they can easily challenge for it, I just don't think they'll make it. The only problem is now with Nkunku injured for I think 2 months, he will be a loss in terms of goal scoring, but attackers like Jackson, Madueke, Mudryk, they'll be pushed up the pecking order because now, especially with the striker and maybe the number 10, like those players will be considered before Nkunku, because Nkunku's a player that you need to be starting. Seventh, I'm going with Villa. They are cooking. They've made great signings and they've massively improved the squad. Like, who have they brought in? Tielemans, Moussa Diaby somehow, and Pau Torres. They'll definitely be challenging for top 4. I think they can probably go on to win the Conference League. Unai Emery is definitely a manager who can bring that success to Aston Villa because he's got European success under his belt with Villarreal and he's been used to managing in European competitions. So 8th, I'm putting Brighton. Even though they've lost McAllister, which will have an effect on their midfield, I don't think they'll have like a massive drop off because they've still got a very good squad with a very good manager and a very good style of play. 9th, I've gone Spurs. You can't really see that in the thing, but Spurs are 9th. I don't know, I just get like a really bad vibe from Spurs. Not because I hate them, which is a factor, but nah, in all seriousness, they have a new coach. But I don't know, with all the rumours of Kane leaving, a possibility of Son not reaching the height of what he was a couple of seasons ago, they could possibly be challenging for Europe. However, their goal scoring record may be about to drop off purely because of the rumours of Kane leaving. However, their creativity in midfield will definitely be sorted with Maddison. That's if he stays consistent and consistently plays. Starting off mid-table, I must say Brentford. Tony being suspended until January will have effect on their goal scoring record, but not a dramatic, like their goals will decrease, but not drastically, because I think, who would it be? Wissa and Mbomo will be playing up front, and they score on a regular basis anyways, so they're a tricky team to play, who beat us a lot. 11th, some may be surprised by this, but I must say Burnley. Now, in my opinion, they would be higher if they had signed the likes of Tella and Maatsen on a permanent contract. Maatsen, I think, is unlikely. Tella is somehow very unlikely. He would have easily started, Tella. Like, I don't know why he stayed at Southampton. Now, obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of it. Like, there could have been some negotiations, but Southampton could have easily asked for more than Burnley was willing to offer. But if I was Tella, I'd leave Southampton in a heartbeat and go Burnley. But regardless of that, they've signed Zaroury, Obafemi, and a couple of others. Is it Trafford? Is it Marcus? Trafford? Mark Trafford? No, Trafford, anyways. And other young centre-backs, like Darragh O'Shea. I think there's another one, but I can't remember his name. But I think 11th and just mid-table in general would be a very good season for Burnley. 12th, I'm going to say Fulham. Again, another tricky side who have very much improved since being promoted. They signed Willian on a free and Raul Jimenez. I don't know what the story is with Mitrovic, because apparently he said that he won't ever play for Fulham again, and like 2 weeks later he's now back in training. But they're a good side, they're a tricky side, they've got tricky players, they've got good players, they've got young up and coming players. I still think Fabio Carvalho should have stayed there, but we all know how that turned out. 13th, I'm saying Palace. They're just kind of mediocre side. I've seen a Palace fan on TikTok talk about how you see teams buying a load of players and improving their squad. Palace don't do that. Palace aren't really a side to sign a truckload of players and push some of the higher positions in the table. They've got very good players, let's not get that wrong. Eze, Edouard. They've signed someone else recently as well, but I don't know who he is, and I'm after forgetting. But I just think they're tricky on their day, but like they're not the best, they're not the worst. So I can't really comment on how amazing they are, because like, again, they're average. They've lost Zaha, who's been their talisman for so long. So now my least favourite part about this video. 14th, I'm saying West Ham. This is the part of the video where I can talk the most about because it's my club. It's also my least favourite part of the video because I am scared to death of jinxing us. But as of right now, I have very little hope for this season. We've lost our best player, who is yet to be replaced, and the current players in the squad can't fill the hole that he's left. As of the time of recording, it's the 8th of August, right? The season starts this weekend. Messed around too much with negotiations. We've come to clubs with offers that are laughably below the asking price. Like, we came to Southampton looking for Ward-Prowse and lowballed them with like offers of what, 20 million, when they were asking for like 30, 35. We take too long to negotiate deals, like Carlos Borges, who's now at Ajax, and Barnes, who's now at Newcastle. The manager and the technical director don't see eye to eye, with the manager looking for certain signings and the technical director suggesting other signings. The technical director has been eyeing up players such as Edson Alvarez, who has now been, here we go, confirmed. By the time this video is out, he might have already signed. We've also looked at Youssouf Fofana, who's at Monaco, and Dennis Zakaria, I don't know how to say his name, of Juventus, and other like younger centre-backs in the French league and the Italian league. And who is Moyes looking at? Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay. He wants players who are Premier League proven. These aren't the signings of a forward-thinking club. Like, we've ended a 43-year drought for a trophy, and you'd think like we'd be looking for young signings, we'd be able to track the young signings to improve the squad, because we knew Rice was leaving and we didn't replace him, and we haven't replaced him. You'd think that would happen, but it just hasn't. We've needed to improve the squad since the season ended, because we knew that Rice was destined to leave, and we haven't done that. So the competition we're facing is going to be tougher, because we're not in the Conference League anymore, we're in Europa League. If we're meant to challenge for that, we're going to be facing much tougher teams than the Conference League. The Prem is only seem to be improving with every other squad signing players and improving their squad. Fans are just left hopeless, really. But if we were to sign players like Alvarez, like Fofana, ignore the likes of fucking Harry Maguire and Scott McSauce, and get other better players in, we could easily be able to challenge for Europe. Because if we had signed Alvarez way sooner, and a couple more midfielders, a couple more strikers, because now we're again looking for an out-and-out goal scorer that has to fit Moyes' system, because with Scamacca leaving, we're down a striker. And if we were to do that, we'd easily be up here. We'd be up here fighting for Europe. So, I don't know. I'm left with little hope, but there's hope there. There's hope there for sure. 15, I'm going to say Wolves. I don't know, with Ruben Neves leaving, they've lost their captain and their star man, really, because they didn't really have any other goal-scoring threat other than him and, I think, was it Podence? And they didn't score often, and they conceded quite a lot. So I think they can be in trouble. And I think their manager is rumoured to have their contract terminated, or just mutually terminated. But yeah, I think they could be in trouble. 16th, I'm going Notts Forest. I think they'll have a similar campaign to last season, because other new signings from last season who stayed for this new season, they'll have settled. Like other teams, they can be tricky on their day, but there are just better teams that will have better results against them. 17th, I'm gonna say Everton. A club of that size shouldn't be where they are, realistically. I don't know who they've signed also, but I just think that, Danjuma, they signed Danjuma on loan, I think, but I don't think he's gonna be enough to push them from where they are. I just think they're just bad. They're bad, to say the least. Relegation. 18th, I'm saying Bournemouth. 19th, Sheffield Wednesday. And surprise, surprise, Luton Town, rock bottom. I don't think anyone has much hope for Luton Town, unfortunately. I would love them to stay up, but I just don't think they have enough quality to stay up in the Prem. Bournemouth, I think they'll only just go down. Like, we all know how good of a job Gary O'Neill did last season, but I don't think they have enough quality in every area to stay up. And Sheffield, again, I just don't think they have enough Premier League quality. So that is the table. I have no clue is that good or not. I wish I was delusional and just whacked West Ham, like, I don't know, top 6. But I'm going to stick with that. And fingers crossed I get at least some of them right. I'm not overly confident, but I mean, I am confident. Like, I'm great at football. But anyways, that is my prediction for this season. I'm looking forward to it. I want football to come back so badly. But nonetheless, thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed me making a fool out of myself, adding my ball knowledge. And I guess we'll see you back here when the season's done. So, that's been me. I'll see you later.